Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I want to show you how I plant my yam in bags. Please endeavor to subscribe, like, comment and share my video. That means a lot to me. Thank you. So right now I'm just preparing the bags. I fill the bags with sand, some loamy soil. Those are very rich and good for your planting. So right now I'm trying to till the sand, make it a bit loose and ready for my planting. So I use my trowel to break the surface and just till it and remove some debris, things that are not needed on the ground. So I just break it evenly like this, and I make sure it's about 4 inches deep for me to plant. So it's getting ready for my planting to take place. Just ensure there's enough space. Ensure that the soil is loose, it's a bit loose, so that when you plant, it will give you a consistent effect, a very consistent feeling. So I take my time to break all my bags. This is a project I'm embarking on to make 100 bags of yam right behind my house at the backyard. I embarked on this project, just taking it one by one, making sure all of them are evenly broken and tilled. So I plant my yams first, actually, before I apply manure, water, and every other thing the soil needs for a good and fruitful planting. So I'm done preparing my soil. Right now I'm trying to prepare the seedlings. That's the yam I'll be planting. Okay, so I cut it in bits. This part of the yam is the head. The head is more viable to plant with, in my experience. It's more okay if you put it like the head is more bitter when you cook to eat. So I'd rather use the head to plant. And even when you keep your yams for too long in the store, you find out that the head just keeps germinating on its own. So that's the part that actually grows faster and first when it's kept for a long time. And I also use the peels of the yam. I still plant the peels alongside the heads. So here I'm placing my cutlets, placing them in my 4-inch hole, just doing it one by one, making sure it's evenly placed for planting. So I put it inside, making sure that the head is faced upwards. This is a very precise process and very detailed. So I'm trying to count the bags to make sure I made enough cutlets to be planted. You can see me placing them in one by one. One for each bag. One for each bag. Placing it. This is a total of 54 bags here. I already have about 46 that are growing pretty well already. At the end of this video, you're gonna see them. See how I place it with the head up in 4-inch hole that was tilled and prepared earlier. So these are the bags. Just checking them. Those peels of the yams, I put some alongside the heads I planted. So those ones grow too. They also grow. So these are the yams. What I'm gonna do next is to cover them up. I cover them with the sand around them. I just bury it one by one so that nature takes its course. This process is quite therapeutic. You don't have to have acres of land to do this. Just your bags of sand in a controlled space. You just make sure that they are very well aerated, watered, and you treat the soil. By treating the soil, you make sure that you use your recommended fertilizers. As for me, I use cow dungs, I use poultry feces, mix them up with ash. So that ash helps the soil also maintain a good pH balance. So since it's not the rainy season, I make sure I water my soil. I water it every 3 days interval. make sure it's well hydrated. Make sure it's not over hydrated, it's just balanced. Just make sure the soil gets enough nutrients it needs, because this is going to be for a 6 to 8 months timeline. For a healthy and matured produce, it's gonna take 6 to 8 months. Okay, so in that time, you make sure you are treating your soil pretty well, and you are monitoring your plant. You're monitoring the leaves. The coloration of the leaves tell you a lot about how the plant is doing under the ground. So you have to be very, very cautious, and you have to be observant about these details, because plants are like children, and you're training a child. You have to be very observant. You have to study the plant, study it, and if you are confused, you ask a professional. You can always ask for help. You can always ask for directions. But I hope my video can show you the basic principles of how to plant your yams in bags. Those yams come out to be about, when fully grown, they come out to be almost 4 kilograms in weight. And it can serve you, even not on a commercial scale. It can serve your household with enough supply of food stuff. Yam can be very versatile. You can use yam to make yam flour for your pounded yam swallow. You could boil it and pound to serve that purpose also. You could fry your yam. You could roast your yam. You could boil them, use it to eat stew or oil the native way. You could also make yam pottage, yam porridge. It's very versatile and rich in nutrients, rich in different nutrients. So I will encourage people to give this a try. The harvest can be quite messy when you want to harvest them from the bags. So to not make your space a mess with sand, you could always control that process by taking it outside. Take it outside one by one, and you just tear the bags and take out your product. So I'm done covering my soil, and right now I'm just watering the soil. Just watering the ground, make it quite wet. Since the yam is on the ground, I'm watering the soil now. Make it moist and hydrated to assist the plant in its growth. when it's the rainy season, you wouldn't have to bother too much about watering your yams. But, excuse me, since it's the hot season, you always make sure the soil is well hydrated. But so you just make sure it's a balanced watering process, not to over drown your plants. So like I said, I water my plants, my yams. I water them at a 2 to 3 days interval, and I check on them to make sure it's well hydrated, even though sometimes it might not take up to 2 days. If I notice the soil is too dry, I could just put some water in there. Right now I'm using my hose and I make sure the speed is not so much. The force of the water is just mild, so you don't tear the soil and expose your plants. You don't need to expose the yams. It needs to be buried in. So in my next video, I'll be showing you how I apply my fertilizers and the things I will sprinkle on top of the soil to make sure my roots aren't exposed. So those will come later in my next video. Please, if you have watched so far, just want to say thank you, and please like and subscribe to my channel. That way you support me, and I'm very grateful. Very grateful. So I'm done watering them. So these are some of the plants. The yams are planted in November. This is the progress so far. This is just 3 months old and they're already sprouting so fast. So in the next 3 months, you can imagine what will happen with these ones we've planted just now. And these are potatoes. These potatoes were planted with just the peel. The back of the potatoes I cooked to eat. I sprinkled them outside here, and this is the miracle I saw. And they are just 4 months old. So I encourage you, viewers, to give it a try. And I will be back with more updates on the progress we've made so far. Thank you so much. God bless.